Hmm. I'm 100% sure that the stream is like buffering like crazy. There wasn't really an issue regarding internet per like some week. It seems to have stabilized, but I keep seeing errors on the YouTube side. Yeah. Is it back on? Is it stabilized? Stream status seems to be excellent. Stream is healthy. But in OBS there's like lots of like drop frames. I think this is like massively like chugging right now, like almost like presentation, right? Oh, it's horrible. But I guess, this is actually the first time I encountered like network issues. So this is 100%, like upload speed is somehow like bottlenecked. In OBS, there is no dropped frames. The bitrate seems to be in normal range. But the YouTube side is keep getting errors. It seems healthy now. In OBS side, there isn't like much errors. There's no dropped frames. The bitrate seems normal. It is very nicely like streamed. On the YouTube side, there is actual errors right now. I'm actually using VPN right now. If that stabilizes the environment, it should be fine, but it's working. So can you hear me like in real-ish delay time, as in I guess it couldn't be really like happens unless I use super ultra like low latency, but I cannot change it right now. Okay, finally, YouTube is saying the stream status is excellent, which is a good thing, I think. I don't know what actually caused it. Is it somehow Netflix trying to like bottleneck the things? Or maybe YouTube is like drawing such on the internet like speed that I cannot really stream and watch Netflix at the same time, but as of right now, I don't think I'm getting drop frames. The bitrate seems normal. There is some of course there is some delay, but I think that should be kind of like expected. I cannot really sure, but anyways, I think I'm gonna just talk about the little things I thought about this week, since last week and this week were kind of hectic. Going back to work and thinking about the opportunities I have and the things I should do. Now it's the Lunar New Year, and everyone have a time to really rest, at least here, for some like week. Or for me, is it like 3 weekends and the whole the week of rest. So I'm finally able to chill while don't think about like anything. Well, that's a lie. I actually have something to do in the week, but yes. Actually, today is Valentine's Day, isn't it? Happy Valentine's Day. I don't know when is the last time I actually like celebrated the Valentine's Day. I don't think I ever really like celebrated the holiday. And is it called holiday even if you just work or leave as you normally do? But yeah, when I was in like school, of course there was like big fuss about like chocolates, and contrary to the most beliefs, there wasn't any like dramatic confessions or anything that's just like involved with like serious chocolates and like connecting your love and anything. But if you are in the age of adolescence, you are natural to be kind of like expecting some affections and stuff. But I was not really. I guess I liked like free chocolates. Because even if you are not the person to receive like serious chocolates to convey your mind, but people often just like give out chocolates since it's the day. And like I have like given and taken some like store-bought chocolates just for like refreshing your mind. So yeah. And one thing I also thought about is that I'm kind of proud of myself, where I have somehow like delayed. I have delayed the stream before. I have put back a stream a little like 20 minutes, an hour before, or even like rescheduled. But I don't think I ever missed the stream, honestly. I don't think I ever really missed the stream to not attend in the time I was supposed to be here. So I think that's a good thing. Now, maybe who knows, maybe I like forgot the stream or forgot to attend, but it can be solved when I don't know, I just want to be more attentive towards to these activities, if you may. And I want to be as on time as possible. And I don't know if you like noticed, but I was heavily influenced by some pink and blue demon dogs who always start their stream early. And not because of their like diligence, but I think their attitude towards the streaming is very admirable in that regard. Yeah, so this is a really like nice benchmark too. Right, so Cosmic Princess Kaguya. I have absolutely zero idea about this movie. First, I thought when it was like circulating through the internet with promotional videos in YouTube and such, there was I thought it was like TV animation rather than a whole movie. And then I heard it was like KyoAni's original IP, which I don't know. I really rarely see original IP had this much of success. And I guess that's it, I guess. I knew like it is about Kaguya Hime, but I don't know anything about the story of the Kaguya Hime, right? Because it is like a folk tale, like folklore, like Japanese, not a historical, but as in really well known. So it is something that's involved around the moon, and I have seen a lot of the fan arts regarding the main protagonist, which I think named Iroha. And there's a lots of like internet references and like Vocaloid references. And as a person who lived in a prime era where Vocaloid was the main face of the subculture, and I have followed through the Vocaloid's ups and downs and like diminishing scenes and fresh up like new airs and somehow getting into the mainstream and getting really popular. So I don't know. This movie is a complete mystery that just like stumbled onto my life, like via some influences, but mostly because they have like crazy like PR materials in YouTube regarding lots of like Vocaloid covers and rearrangement, and even releasing the whole animated like PVs and stuff. Okay, there's like one thing I have like spoiled about this movie. This is not actually like a spoiler per se, but I have like heard about some kanshos about like how their impressions about this movie, and the only impression I have heard is about regarding not the story but the ending music is the Ray from the Bump of Chicken and Hatsune Miku's collab, which is really nothing surprisingly since the Ray as a music is maybe it can like upset some like Vocaloid fans, but that collaboration kinda shined the new lights to the Vocaloid scenes, where like I don't know, when your genre is kinda like becoming Owakon, which is like Owari contents, which is like ending content, which is like on its last legs, only supported by like few like dedicated fans, you are kind of like worried about where this is going, where this is heading into. Is it completely ending? And whilst those ideas are true, whilst those ideas are rampant in the scenes, the collaboration between the Bump of Chicken was really surprising to the many fans. And I think because of the song, some really like started to make a music again, started to listen to Vocaloid again. And I don't know, since this feels like some ode to the internet, like Heisei area internet cultures, I'm excited. Okay, so this is how will it goes, right? Okay, first off, I think Watchalongs. I don't think I ever seen the archive of the Watchalongs. Like never. I have attended and like saw the Watchalongs in live, but 100% sure in my life I didn't really watch the Watchalongs via the archive. So yeah, the timers and like the countdown is there for its sake, but I'm pretty sure if I don't do it, none of you will also don't really like archive the watch alongs. So this streaming is about like live impression only. But for the courtesies and the preparedness sake, there is actually a timer on the background, like here, and I don't have like dexterity to like click in the OBS, click in the scene, and like interact the browser source, and then I come into the Netflix like within 1 second. So I'm gonna roll the timer until it reaches like 1 minute, and as soon as it reaches the 1 minute, I will play the play button. I will press the play button on Netflix. So it is Cosmic Princess Kaguya in Netflix. It is 2 hours and 22 minutes and 0.3 seconds. And yes, that's all. Also, I don't know. I have a lot of experience going into a theater or just watching the movie together with like friends. But in my life, me and anyone that watched movie with me isn't the type of person who spoke during the movie. So there is a high chance that this 2 hour and 22 minutes would be just me watching this movie like silently. I don't know. I might be like, I don't know. If something is really surprising and really heartfelt, I might like let out a little noise like, or wow, or oh, like I don't know, like the impressions, but I don't know. Let's just enjoy this chill Friday night to the fullest. Okay, I'm gonna actually turn up the lights so I can be more cinematic. There's a problem. If I turn off this light, the camera doesn't have enough lighting to light my face up. Like, isn't it using like infrared or something? Well, anyways, let's see. Watchalong, no. Timer, interact, start. Right, as soon as I'm logged into Netflix, I'm on the screen that can watch Kaguya. And then I have rewinded to the 0.00. And as soon as the timer goes to 1 minute, I'm gonna count from the 57 seconds. I will press the play button, and as soon as you play the play button, the Netflix logo will like do their significant like signature sounds like dudung in like 1 second. So that is the point that you synced up with me. Okay, 10 seconds remaining. Sync. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, is this virtual Edo? Is this Apex? Yay. If you can work part-time to like afford a rent in Tokyo, I'll be like in 1980s. What? You can't live in Tokyo with part-time payment. This is actually new. Netflix have the lyrics of the song in the openings. I know the feeling. I know the feelings. Maybe? 赤ちゃんは終わらせるものじゃないよ。That that bird sound is really nostalgic to me. Which family restaurant like pays that much fee? So that's Kaguya. Oh, she's only speaking in like terms she saw from internet. She's an old man? これ5000yen. Oh, they are bidding for her. Nice. think the boy is supposed to be like antagonist of the stories. They are kind of charming though. 결혼하. I guess that's not. Brother? Osaka? Wow. But first, pull it. Hmm. Right. It was the show, really. Tadaima. So there is a lot of things I kind of want to say regarding this movie. But I think I kind of want to... Let's see. Font, Arial, I guess. I kind of want to say like from like different aspects. Only regarding the show. And things that we can kind of like pick up from the show. And obviously, the reflections. Okay. I think only something that I lean into more critics and more, it is not really negative, but it is kind of like, it is not like repulsive, but you know, when you kind of like grow up and when you really like grew up as a person who like consumes a lot of media, you bound to become more and more and more not really pessimistic, but more critic towards that media you consume. Because when you're like young and stupid and innocent, you don't really see something that's over what's like presented in front of you. And you have not really a lot of references to compare what is like shown in front of you. So this is just like me counting like connecting the dots. This is like another story too, but if you consume a lot of media that is really complex and have a lot of themes and genres, you can't but help to notice similar things that is kind of not really like vibe with you. As in, I find that it exists, but why is it there? Like those sort of things. And it is like not really often be like explicitly because of the creator's fault, but you can like notice some of the outside influence that kind of dictates the decisions that some product is to made. And if you like keep connecting the dots, there is a bound to be like one aspect of the ones that you really don't like to see. Because I don't really like the Inudoji, the little dog kind of characters. It was sort of like random, and I don't know, maybe this is like coming from my lack of understanding about the legend of the Kaguya Hime. But we just seen from the show, the inclusion of that little like dog mascot is kind of random. So I'm like suspecting that there is some sort of like plug to that character to be there. I mean, like Fushi is their derivative from the legends and the folk tales. In some ways, I don't really know. And that's fine. It serves this like role and purpose. But that character is just like random. It is like there for its sake. It's kind of seeing like phased out VTuber mascot that everyone's no longer like really like them or doesn't really like have context and history with them, but it's just there being some sort of like eyesore. So yeah, that's the main gripe I have against this movie. And okay, the next about the show. Story-wise, I think story alone it is kind of weak, where because of the time limit of the 2.5 hour-ish story time, there is a lot of aspect of the streaming world / idol world / entertainment world is like cut out, which I understand, but because of the cutouts of those struggles and maybe like this is basically a coming of age story with a twist, but it is kind of like generic in a sense where some unusual and something wacky happens and it turns out to be your lifelong soulmate. It's a kind of like that trope. But only like saving grace of those like weak and stale story time was that most of the characters were like very realistic. the voice acting, I guess it is like coming from me who consumed the anime from like 10 years ago. But the voice acting and how they act were very sweet, very like, how should I put it? It is really like close to reality. How they speak, how they behave is not really like same, but how they like mainly speak. And how like, I think I assuming Iroha was JK and other ones like of like same age. How they speak really like reflects the today's age of speaking. And how they voice act is also the kind of like the same. Where when the normal conversation with the normal day-to-day occurrence, they speak really close to reality. Of course, the cadences and like the rhythms of the speak and the mannerism they speak is kind of like emphasized and like really well timed and really well edited. But the baseline of what's like their voice acting, how they use their languages are really in like similar to the today's culture. And I think a lot of people really praise the voice actor for the Kusuriya no Hitorigoto, the first the Apothecary Diary. And I kind of get the similar vibes from Iroha's acting. And whenever she's and the other characters like acting out of the realistic mannerisms, it is because they are playing a character in the virtual world or in a situation. So that was really refreshing. But the story itself was, I think it was published as a manga. I think it will be like concluded in like 3 volumes. Because it is kind of really shame. The premise is also kind of very weak compared to how the other genres of this like entertainment / reality shows. And a lot of the things were like cut out, and a lot of production stage or preparation stage, and there's a lot of intricate details that you could express from a lot of like media, for example like Oshinoko or like Love Live, or even like Idolmaster animes and all the other stuff. And that is why I feel like this story itself, as a show itself, is kind of like floats away. It doesn't really leave you with impression about why you supposed to take this in your life. As in, there's a lot of IPs and brands and a lot of things that can convey more history and context and everything. But even if you include the PRs and all other stuff they are making into this like storyline, they're really trying it hard to like break the market. But as a market itself, as a market myself, I'm not sold, frankly. And that is like coming from me who is like quick to like love someone, but ever since like this is the story, and the story is kind of like telling me there is something that is over the set storyline. But now I'm just questioning, now what? It feels like I am peeping into their world. It is not I want inclusion of myself or I want to immerse into the world, but I want to like embrace them into my heart rather than just seeing it like I'm an outstanders. So that is my just a little criticizing about regarding the show. And also, I personally think the battle sequence and thematically you cannot really like separate between like virtual and cyber world without like games, and I really appreciate the representation of the games and how it is like conveyed through the media. But also, I don't think it was strictly contributing to the movie itself. It was nice visuals and nice connection between like Iroha's pro-gamer brother, and the representation of a lot of like gaming org are also like involved in entertainment industries and all of the other stuff. And Iroha is like your like run-of-the-mill, really like overpowered characters, because you are from Osaka and you came to Tokyo without any help of your parents, and you can live alone in like a rundown apartment, but rundown apartment where you can commute to school by walking in Tokyo costs like 12,000 yen in month, and you cannot pay them with part-time payment. No, you just can't. Maybe it is something like different from like 2030, 2080. I kind of like forgot where was it, but like you have like good grades, and you are athletic, and you can play piano, and you also kind of like cracked at gaming, which is possible. I know some people who are as talented as Iroha is, and that's why maybe she is the protagonist of the story, but it is like strictly unnecessary, as in I know that people doesn't really like to like see the strict reality, but even if the reality is like presented in the manner, it was highly unrealistic. And that's why I'm saying the inclusion of the gaming was kind of like stretching it too far. I don't know, maybe like struggle between like real consequences between like if you are involved in extracurricular activities such as the like, entertainment world, like doing a side gig as entertainer could like possible if you only do a part-time job, or only if you are doing the schoolwork. You cannot really have all three, then you will die at age of 27. So of course, I'm just like picking the littlest things that I don't really like embrace within the shows in these sections, but yeah. Okay, I think that's enough negativity. And regarding the show, what's the positive towards me? Then this one have the most, I think, before I say that, I think I really appreciate that this show's like visual language is really like unionized. Like the torii gate, the waffen clothes, the animal ears, and how they dress. The games itself is like there's like a siege of like Nobunaga Castle. Those stuff was kind of mixed in. There's some Momotaro, and there was a Kaguya Hime, and I'm pretty sure there's the details that missed from just being not really familiar with the Japanese cultures, like traditional cultures, but I was really impressed how all of the stuff that is like including the modern day Tokyo is inherently really Japanese. Like Edo period Japanese, like this period Japanese. And I really like the diving scene from Tsukuyomi, where Kaguya was first to like go into the VR world, right? And I have seen a lot of like VR. We have seen a lot of like VR diving sequence from like Sword Art Online, Ready Player One, and all the other like VR medias that conveyed how to like go into the virtual world, which is all kind of derivated from Matrix. And Kaguya Hime's ones were kind of like most innovative, I felt. They are sinking into the depths of the internet, which is often called like the sea of the electrons and sea of like denpa umi, and like sea of the electronic, sea of the informations. And you emerge out from that sea and you are suddenly placed over a shallow water where you face the Torii Gate, which is supposed to be a barrier between the real life and the God's realm. And then Kaguya is at the Kaguya that and the tutorial sequence is like guiding you from the outside world into the virtual world, like trespassing the gate of the Torii Gate. And all the players is like called the gods and goddesses in their world too. So even down to the like detail of how to get into the VR world, and how I was really like awestruck when the first Yukuami's world was revealed to us. I have like get a lot of the Spirited Away vibes, where you are just suddenly cut out from the world of the living and you suddenly meet a really bright and frankly frightening level of brilliance in front of you. You are kind of like awestruck, can't be helped but to be awestruck. And really strong theme of like waters. The first the concert from Yachio was like water theme. Then I kinda like expected the song to be like Shinkai Shoujo or like Yomiuri Kaitan, like those are like water themes, like vocalized songs, but it's still another story. But and how the Yachio like speaks from like old lady, as in not as in like old lady, but ancient lady, and how the flashback from the Osaka days from Iroha and her brother was they are saying Kansai, and it was easily recognizable, as in they have recorded in a way even like foreigners like me can recognize the difference. So that was nice. And that is like, I'm saying this is really, really well polished, the show. It is really well thought out and really nicely animated too. Yeah. Also, I think I have like seen I said about the show enough, wasn't it? What else? The lightings, man. The lightings about this show are like brilliant. How they use like light is really, it doesn't really have depth. If you see like Shinkai Makoto's like work, like 5 centimeters per second, or like Kimi no Nawa, or those like really in depth with a lot of like contrast and lightnings and transparencies and opacity, but they are really well lighted in a way that is feels unique. I can see the influence of the studio from like the past decades, since the animation studios are known to be like making these kind of really well lit and bright and useful and expressive sort of like work. but I think they sort of like overdid themselves, and even like the little, I think they don't really down to how should I put it? There was a lot of like references and expressions that is prevalent of the today's anime's era, and I don't think that was like 100% planned from the start. I think some of the scenes that were animated is like by the sole how should I say? I think if you are an animator yourself, you can't but help to incorporate some of the things you liked about what you or like favorite anime, favorite movie, like favorite piece of media. And if you have like a really set goal of creating a media that is reflective of the culture of the today, then if you are raised in like today's culture, you are cannot but help to incorporate this sort of something that you hold dear into this show. So there's some sort of like expressions and references and homage. All this stuff is not inherently planned from the start, but I can see some of the animators it just incorporated the references into the arts and the animations, and it was just accepted because that was fitting because of the show is reflection of the society. And you know, I was really amazed and overwhelmed with joy in the how should I put in the end credit, right? Because when I grew up watching the media, and I always watch the end credits, and I couldn't really make sense of what the end credit is like saying. Like, who are these people? Who are this industry? What is these companies do? What did this music came from? And first time in my life, I saw a piece of media and end credit was rolling, and I was able to make sense of the things, the names, and the song names, and the composers, and who made the song, and who made the animations, the studio names, which industry was involved, and that was kind of really magical experience that I have somehow like grown up into a person who can watch a piece of media that was my youth, and I'm amazed to see my childhood / like studenthood people in the credits. It is like feeling you know, there is a Nikodon guitarist called Nakanishi. He's a really famous for his green tracksuit and how he's like guitar, like how he plays the guitars and like specific the muting technique he uses. And I think like 1 or 2 years ago, I was able to like find his name on some end credits. He was like the one of like there's many reasons I started like playing guitars and enjoying the music of the guitars, but he was like one of the reasons that can prolong that interest towards the guitars, and I was really delighted to see his name on the end credit of like some music videos because he was like part of the session of the composers. And I got the same impression watching this movie too, that I think this is some people can really resonate because, you know, like Jonas Kenshi and like Yoasobi and those really famous producers that were Vocalopies and like models from the Nikodons, and they are now just like going all over the world, spreading the cultures we love and enjoy. So yes, that was really impressive. That was really nice. And that is a perfect segue to the themes of the show. Now, I think at the first when I started like explaining about how I and what I want to watch this movie, I was like, oh, this movie can be like ode to Heisei, like the good old times. And I was really mistaken, right? This was ode to Reiwa. Not just really, not really inherently, predominantly specific to the people who are living or like born in Reiwa era, but it is for the people who were their childhood / studenthood or early adulthood was lies in the start of the Reiwa era, where there was a boom of the digital age. So I think in like English terms, I think that's like the ode to Gen Zs, where Gen Z include like people who born from like 1996. So this is like sort of like overlaps with when Heisei was like turned into Reiwa. And this is not like today, this is not the most trending show. It cannot be, but thematically I can feel the love of people who grew up and like plus minus like 10 years of my age is worked on this show to make something that can be remembered in the future as iconic as this movie. A lot of like music, the like theme of like diving into the virtual reality, the gaming, the streaming, and like the AI characters, Yachio, and like reality and advanced technologies that we like dream to have. And all of this concept is really well incorporated in the movie. So all to like Reiwa kid. I would say like Reiwa kid. Only Reiwa. Like, that was like the visual and audio like themes of the show. And the sounds of the remixes of the songs are, how should I put it? Like before 2016, it was either like pop or band sound. And it was predominantly sound of the band. And it was really nice I was like raised in the comfort of the band sounds. I mean, like when I hear some melodies that is written by the Bumped Up the Chickens, and I can instinctively like recognize, this is the melody that bands like really like to make. This is 100% their song. And when the inclusion of like Ray is inside the movie, I was like recognized how it is like incorporated in the song. Like those melodies are too distinctive, and that is like also kind of like can be heard from the another like bands like One Ok Rocks, Ratwimps, Alley Gardens, or like a Overworld even, Spire. So yeah, this is really, I guess why this was really popular, because in the sphere of the world of the internet, that is, who love subcultures, these things that are depicted in these stories of this movie were really, really, really familiar to us. And what we enjoy, what we love, and what we like accustomed to during our like coming of age. And it was really nice. Okay, beside the ode to the Reiwa kind of thing, I think the whole Iroha / Kaguya dynamics. I thought this was like Yuri anime at like first when I didn't really knew about it, because when there's two girls that's intimate to each other, otakus are really drawn to just ship them, right? But I think thematically, without really considering the whole story of the time loop and how like I think the last bit of like time loop and how she got like robot bodies, it is just a tool to progress the story to the endings. But the births and the births and what was the word? The births is uncontrolled and unrealistic to each one, and the growth is also always turning to unexpected ways, and its graduation / termination / diminish is also coming unexpected ways, and rebirths of that same concept is considered a really lengthy work that you have to dig deeper to. Like the reason why I'm saying is that I think Kaguya is metaphor for creativity, as in like creativity / muse, because a lot of like I have like played Prosecca before, and if you're familiar with Nijigo the Night Code, so Nigo, if you are familiar with the story of the Nigo from Prosecca, you can draw a lot of like parallels between Kanade and Iroha. And I think Iroha had like Mafuyu and not Kaguya, but Kanade has a Mafuyu, not Kaguya, so that is why her word is keep like spiraling into depression. But I think thematically what this movie is kind of like convey is that how our like creative souls, as depicted as Kaguya, is really unexpectedly came to your life as like a legend of folklore, isekai, or whatever. And that creativity in your life grows without you noticing. And at some point, it really, you and your creation and your creative drive, it is inseparable. You cannot live without each other, and that will prolong for a time before it have to be finished or out of your system unexpectedly. Maybe you hit a slump, or maybe you were like forced to take another circumstances of your life that you cannot really focus on your creativity to like express yourself. But that from the moment to like rekindle of the things, you have to tirelessly and relentlessly like push yourself to finally meet something that can rekindle your creative drive. And then it will empower you, and it will be catalyst to your next creative drive. The stats, the phase, yes. So from the Iroha's like perspective, her creative drive was squashed with her father's death, right? And then she was suppressing the creative drive with her schoolworks and trying to be perfect, be like the students where she had to prove herself to be like worthy to her mothers, so she can justify her end of the creative drive for the music is justified because I have to circumvent myself into, I have to curb myself into society. I have to fit myself and be thoroughly defeated. But you still have the seed of the creativity you cherish and you want to do, and you cannot live without it. And suddenly, just like Kaguya visited her, like, via sheer chance, almost, and then it just sparked. And you cannot really control it. Not because you are young and stupid, but if the motivation and inspiration stocks, and you have the seed of the creation, it just spiral into this like positive feedback or some ways to just prolong that phase of your life until it was hit by another like inevitable and very abrupt end. That was when Kaguya was moved into the moon, and it was like dormant until like she was able to pick herself up and work for how to like convey the love of like something into the others. And after she got out of her slump, she worked tirelessly to create a robot body for Kaguya. That is another creative spark from there. So thematically, the show was kind of showing us how your muse comes and goes, as in almost like personificated as a cosmic princess Kaguya. So, like the theme of this the movie is just, she is just a personification of creative in your mind. How should I put this? She's just a personification of muse, inspirations. With just uncontrollable, and it is delightful when it lasts, heartbreaking when it's over, but it is forever grateful when it comes back. And I think that's the theme of the show, essentially. That was what I was thinking. I think people are like quick in like really like shallow, not in shallow, but in the face level. The two dynamics are just the good friends that were somehow getting to like peculiar situation. But as soon as I saw that Kaguya literally like grew up in the Iroha's arms, I could have like see where it went, where how she is the personification of the creative drive and inspirations, and how it was expanded and rekindled the old dreams and dug up the old like musics and performs and everything. Yeah, so it was really inspirational in that way. And the really what it really like struck me that this is what it is like conveyed is when the time loop, right? The cycles where Iroha was buried, that song that was the main theme of the song, and it was her like why I think that was like created until like it when she was like squashing her dreams. And then it was rekindled by Kaguya, like, please make like this song and she was like begging like this old song to be remade, and it was the highlight of the Kaguya's graduation life. And it was diminished, but it wasn't. It was actually like dormant for Kaguya, and she was like going into the moon. And we knew that crazy like time travel and like Edo period, like, right? And those are like also kind of felt like the motivations. As in, your past project and past things you create is never left you. You can see the old creation of you and see like, how the fuck did I make this? Or what the fuck is this I made from like in the past? But in some way, that unfinished project, the thing that you just left, isn't really dies when you neglect them. By the process of the creation that is just embodied by yourself. So whatever you made in the past, whatever you made from now, whatever you made from past, whether it is published, finished, or like unpublished or unfinished or uncompleted, it doesn't matter because it will live through yourself. So yes, that was also the thematic resemblance I have with the motivation of those motivation and inspirational part of this movie. As long as I perceived them. So yeah, as a creator, how I don't know I'm worthy to like call myself creators, but there's a lot of things that there is a phase that I just want to get out of this cycle of just walk and sleep and taking care of myself and just draw myself into the voice of the god of creation, the voice of Kaguya, where I want to create something a far more bright and eventful than this life. And that is how it really is. And that is how exactly you met with Kaguya, your own motivation, your own inside voice of I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to paint a picture, I want to play an instrument, I want to play that song, I want to dance to that dancer, I want to create something that will be remembered to me and the others. It is a wonderful thing. That was, I think, the main themes and story of the show I was really connected with. And for the reflection, the reality is actually I kind of like forgot what I was like supposed to say in this one. Regarding reflection of reality, I think I kind of like said reflection of the reality with like the themes of the show where the motivation and all the other stuff. So I think it is included in the number 2 of the ones. So yeah, just because I perceive the movie in that way, I can really put off the main storylines. And I think that is exactly what the creators of this movie is intended. And they doesn't really want to like make the strict sense of the stories and every other stuff. You just want to feel things, and that feelings were thoroughly like conveyed into me, and that was really amazing. So 9 out of 10 this movie was. Man, As a fan of idol cultures, I kinda wanted to see more of the idol side. More like idol dancings. I think they done a really marvelous job to like convey that part of like loveful side of the entertainment world, rather than like I don't really watch Oshinoko's anime, but I think I read a chapter until like some sort of like arc. I think I read Oshinoko's manga until the debut of the Bicomage, but well, the author of the Oshinoko, it doesn't really like known for creating a sparkly and a positive world, but I think we as a generations are too much familiar with the pessimistic nature of the industry or the world or creations. Like the first, like most of the people's first Maho Shoujo, the magical girls anime would be like Madoka Magica, unless they explicitly watch the Precure or I don't know, even like Sailor Moons. But I think most of the people who are accustomed to magical girls are through Madoka Magica, and the show isn't a magical girls story. That is psychological like drama, to say at the least. And then that genres that keep evolving into like almost like rena level of like degrading the magical girls and how is the society is like leeching off from their roles and all the other spin-off and all the other like those in creativity where the magical girls are tortured and like getting like diminished of their like original purposes, and that is fine, but it is too pessimistic. I want to see the magical girls are truly like pure-hearted and with their positivity and wills of good to like demolish the evils. I want to see those kind of things, and Kaguya Hime just done the things that I wanted to do. It was so full of positivity. And some people can say that it's like too idealistic or this is just done like anime's bullshit, but I think we need more anime bullshit in this world rather than incorporating like we as a generation have I think that's our like goal actually. We as a generation have to break out of the mold of sarcasm. We have to break out of the mold of pessimism. We are too sarcastic and like pessimistic and really ground to reality that we have to criticize everything that we have to perceive and consume. We don't have a passion that is pure-hearted and sincere as it should be. And I really don't like that. Even if you have hard times and everything you've done doesn't go right, you can be optimistic about something and you can be like more like you can just enjoy when there is a joyful things in the world. You don't really have to criticize and berate and degrade the things just to make it unfun. If there is a fun things, you can just I don't know, have fun. Then that is so sad about the reality of this generation is that they cannot. I cannot. You cannot, probably. And I'm really sick of this like pessimistic and sarcastic remarks when we can just forego of these things and enjoy the things that is meant to be enjoyed. And this movie was just that. it could have like reflect the struggle of finding to like make the ends of the meet in Tokyo. Or it could convey the entertainment side is really grueling, like Oshinoko, and dirty, but it didn't. And there's like a lot of gripe about like virtual cultures too. There's a lot of like pessimistic and ugly side of that industry too. But why we have to, of course we have to mindful about those things and trying to like police them to not make the same mistake of the like former like industry did and ruin the thing, like TV programs for example. But that doesn't mean we have to take everything into a like criteria to belittle them. As much as we have to mindful of the shortcomings of the industry and shortcomings of what you love, you have to love that interest of yours tenfold than those like mindfulness. And I was really pleased that this movie was kind of like aligned with my mantra, so to speak. I was really relieved that there is a people like me who want to seek joy and love instead of something else that is far more inconsiderate and worse and woeful, all of the other things. Maybe that was reflection of the reality. So, to conclude, I think the show itself as a story is a really high production values, but the story is like bleak, and some part is like plugged by some other interest that I was really kind of like be icky about it. But I was really resonate with the themes of the show, where creativity comes and goes, and how the muse of the life like come into your life and goes, and how the motivation just keep empowering you and like make the person you are, and the reflection of the reality and the like blink of the like small hope that I could have found from these movies creators, that my belief of the society that we have to be a better person to love and enjoy what we love, that is what we're supposed to do, was kind of lived with the movie. So that is my thought regarding these movies. I don't really think I would be geeking out about this movie, as in see those like details, and I don't know, like dig deeper to the references. And of course, like how I tweet as well, if I like something of that regard, now it will be like flooded on my timelines about the propositions and foreshadowings I missed, and every like reference is organized will be suddenly like pop up on my feed, and maybe I don't know, I have to like see all of the other peer stuff again. But yes. It was a good movie, and I'm glad I was able to like watch it in relatively like same frame of like its release. It is released on like January 22nd, and it is like barely 1 month away So whenever there's some like a movie and the dramas, like I just like kept pushing it away. I want to watch the Rock. I want to watch the new like Love Live movies and all the other seasons, and I want to watch like Chainsaw Man and like to see why it is like so popular. I want to like watch many animes. Like there's a lot of like Monogatari series that they released after Nisei Monogatari, which is the last like Monogatari series anime that I watched. So there's like Evangelion too, and I have like put away those things in my life. Even if I was really like madly interested to watch them. So that is that. But I was really glad that I was finally be able to be with the trend. I really like hope this IP goes further than this movie. Maybe they can make more like music videos or what else? Music videos. Maybe like short animated films or PBs or more covers. Honestly, the vocals for Iroha is like really amazing. Her voice acting kind of reminds me of the Kazusa from Blue Archive. Those like breathy and low middle voice, but with really clear like pronunciations, and I don't know, Iroha's voice was really beautiful. And Kaguya was also really cute, and her voice kind of reminds me of some character. And I really hope that they keep making music together. And somehow there's like a melt, and the World Is Mine, the Ray, and Happy Synthesizers, and what else? But I think I want them to like cover more Vocaloid classics like the Meltdown, like the Butterflies on My Right Shoulders. I'm currently obsessed with this song, by the way, and like Electronic Angels, like that one is so nice, and most of the like Giga songs too, or like a lot of like Sari Shinohara, maybe like Oli and Buna songs. What else? Like old like Kamen song like paper airplanes, or like the Flower of Evil, and like those songs. I don't know. This is just like my Vocaloid otaku is speaking, but I never seen like corporation/industry movie spin-off of the music that really embodied the song, but really like fresh take of the old song that I enjoyed. And I think like I'm being kinda defensive when people are recreating my childhood jams, but this movie's rearrangement and like new compositions really struck me as this is sound I know, but it was really inoffensive. That is like little thing offensive word, but to the creators, but it was really easy to get into the tunes, and I was able to really enjoy it without burying myself in the nostalgia. It was fresh take, but it was a banger too. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna drink some more like waters and hydrate, and I'm going to search all of the PR stuff. Released by Kaguya. I think there's one music videos released after the movie's release, and I think I'm off to watch those things. I don't know. I have to like. I supposed to say sorry for like being quiet in the watch-alongs, but isn't it better if I just say nothing when you're not watching the movies? But I don't know. Like watch-along is watch-along where you want to like feel the presence of the person rather than just like watching the movie alone. And like maybe let's talk about the reflections or the retrospective talk after the movies end. But I don't know. I just watched the movie almost silently. I was like gasping and like adding here and there. As in, I really wanted to say when the the sea cucumber little thing was leading Irwa into the real life. I was like, you are the real Kaguya, don't you? Like, I want to like say those stuff, but I really don't want to, how should I put it, interrupt the scene, as in like they are doing plays in front of me, and if I like yell out, you are the culprit in the middle of the play and to the actors, and I feels like I'm interrupting them. Even if this is just on video playing on the PCs, but I kind of felt like that. They were really like, but also show doesn't really have a breathing room, as in most of the scenic animes have really a lot of breathing room between the scenes where only the music is playing or just the VFX is playing. Like, if this was done by the other producers or companies, the disappearance of the Kaguya would be presented more sadly, more depressingly, like, where is she? She was this precious thing in my life and she's gone. And they could have like dragged that sadness for like a really long time, but they didn't. So, yeah. So I could have just like talked about, oh my god, this is so sad. Whilst that scene was like playing, it was really fast. Right. So yeah, thanks for watching the movie with me, and I think rather than just marathoning an anime on the stream, I think this is a good chance to just watch something that I want to watch before. I think watch along of the animes and the series like TV shows are kind of like far-fetched, as in if I do anime watch-alongs, I'm going to sit here in silence for 8 hours just marathoning the animes like episode by episode over and over again, and that is like there's no value in that. Even if you are like reacting to them, but it is just like a meaningless if you cannot really grasp and talk about the things you just watched. So I think from now on, if I want to like watch something, if I just want to like watch some movies or watch something I was like passionate into, maybe like documentary, even like video essays. Like if you think about video essay, like watch-alongs, like there's like a 2 hours long of like video essay of the like a game's lores or like all the other stuff, and you kind of want to watch it, or even like virtual concerts that you don't really have a time to watch it live, but the archive is like available like somewhere, so we can like watch it together. And we can talk about the Kansho too afterwards. And this movie and like 2 hours and 3 hours of contents like continuously was, I think, the perfect time to like balance between you can immerse into the piece of media with me and then talk about thing with me afterwards. So it was really nice. And if the times and everything allows, I think I want to do this sometime in the future too. Alright, actually, I planned to do, I think, I think I kind of like plan to do the like a metaphor, nandazakke, marathon starting from like Monday, but we have to like be somewhere else, so I think it could be a little bit pushed back onto like Wednesday or even like Thursday, and I have like 4 or 5 days times of like playing. So yeah, I'm not available, or rather we are visiting family home, so we won't be available from tomorrow. So all of the streams that I have planned in my head but not published into the Twitters and other stuff will be pushed a little back. I really want to make a time to have some sort of like streams in my life, but the life is like slapping me in the cheeks every time. So yes. Thanks for watching, actually. Thanks for watching this movie. I think this movie have to be watched from many other people who like the culture of today and culture of like Rewa, like only Rewa. So yes, thanks for watching the movie with me. Thanks for watching, and thanks for like listening to my reflections or sharing, doubt sharing. Is that even a word? But yes, I hope you found your motivations, your inspirations, your muse, and let it flow within you to empower you and make you a better person tomorrow. And don't forget to share your love. Don't forget to share your interest. Don't forget to share about the world that could be better. It doesn't have to be optimistic. You just cherish what is really precious to you. And that is all. Thanks for everything, and I'm going to see you hopefully next week with something else. Is there anything that I could say? Then thanks for watching, thanks for living, thanks for talking, thanks for chatting, thanks for being alive. Thanks for everything. And I'm gonna see you later on the next week. Then bye bye.